Are you okay? No. Why are you upset? It's just, I'm killing all these people, and for what? Like, why am I doing this to them? To myself. I don't even know who I am anymore. Okay, do you want to listen to some music? Sure. Hi, my name's Quirrell. Hope you're finding everything good today. Oh my god. Wait, are you Hollow Knight? I feel pretty hollow. I feel like I don't know myself anymore. I don't know, like I'm just some kind of void. When you're not feeling like yourself, what do you normally do? Go for a nice walk, sleep, genocide. It's okay. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes we're running around with a sword and we trip and suddenly you're going to prison. The Hollow Knight OST. This soundtrack is a certified slapper. It's got this really cool Baroque-inspired neoclassical thing going on. With a modern uplift, ranging from beautiful, soft, contemplative piano pieces to swelling operatic bangers. It's a soundtrack inspired by the game's scenery and setting in a ruined bug kingdom, its ambience and underlying themes. It makes extensive use of the piano and strings, especially the viola. Overall, the score has a really operatic thing going for it, except instead of singers, the melodies are performed by the viola, piano, or some other instrument. I mean seriously, just listen to this one, Mantis Lords, and tell me you can't see this being performed by vocalists. It's even got that classic operatic call and response between the violin, cello, and harpsichord. And that makes sense because I think Hollow Knight really is an opera, in the sense that Star Wars is an opera. Because underneath the protagonist's silence and the use of environmental storytelling, there really is something of bombastic and operatic proportions going on. So before we get into a discussion about the significance of Hollow Knight's music and how it interacts with its themes, it's important to understand what Hollow Knight is actually about. Considering that summarizing the story takes a minimum of 3 days, I'm gonna give you the abridged version and try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. You play as unnamed Bug Knight. You're emotionless, you have no personality, you aren't funny, mean, depressive, or happy. You just are, and you wander around a ruined bug kingdom, presumably to fulfill some kind of goal since the game doesn't end after 1 second. Through playing the game, you discover that you were actually by the in an effort to an ever-expansive created by him. Although you actually aren't the you're a of a by the task to find the and kill it. For those of you who've played Hollow Knight before, that might have made some sense. For those that haven't, I'm sorry. I just think you should really experience it for yourself. But I can tell you, among other themes like sacrifice, ethics, and being a bit of a psychopath, a big theme of this game is identity, and the lack thereof. Hollow Knight is first and foremost an adventure game. And what is an adventure game if there's no linear sense of progression? Adventures are like classic story arcs. We've got a start to your adventure, the rising action, the climax, and then some falling action and resolution. Say for example, I went to the store to buy a clothes, and when I was trying to buy these clothes, a wolf was in the store, and so I had to escape it, and I did. The end. So having an adventure means that something has to be going through that adventure, right? There's no adventure if there's nothing there to experience it. So in the case of Hollow Knight, we've got this Bug Knight guy experiencing an adventure. Makes sense, right? And presumably, since he's undergoing an adventure, his character is going to evolve based on what happens in that adventure. People experience things, and they change based on their experiences. But when your character doesn't display any emotion or talk, how do you convey a character's emotional progression in an adventure? How do you even indicate that they're going places? You can make a musical theme and attach it to your guy, and put that musical theme into the soundtrack as a musical marker. Now, wherever the soundtrack goes and adventures off to, you'll have a bit of your identity to go along for the ride. There's a similar concept called leitmotif, which attaches a musical theme to certain things or people in scores, and then later when that thing or person comes back, their theme will play. However, in Hollow Knight, the player's theme isn't attached specifically to the player. At least I don't think so. And that's why I don't think it can be called a leitmotif. But I'll explain why that is in a bit. In the player's case, the theme is this string of notes. Throughout your playthrough of Hollow Knight, you'll definitely hear this melody appear at various other points in different tracks. I don't want to show you where exactly, since that ventures into spoiler territory, but the theme is linked to the player's identity. It hints at the big mystery behind who the player is and what their ultimate purpose is, because it can play in places that might offer a revelation to you. It also links the player to some other characters who are similar to them. Because these characters are very similar to the player's character, they also use the player's theme with some slight variation. So by putting the player's theme in these situations, rather than rely on our character's emotional growth or dialogue, the music lets us know that this moment is significant to the player in their adventure arc and character journey. It gives us that sense of character progression when the character can't give it themselves. There are some other melodies in the game that flutter in and out of the soundtrack, as well as some other textures like the piano and viola. I don't think it's a coincidence that these two instruments are slathered on virtually every cut of the OST. It's a crafty way to offer some sense of character progression when I think those instruments are characters of their own, going on a journey of their own and mirroring the journey of the protagonist, because they stand in to thematically represent the protagonist. So ultimately, the Hollow Knight OST isn't just about supporting a story, it's about making a story. And there we go, there's my Hollow Knight soundtrack video. Once again, the mic is very close to my face. I really want to do the RuneScape soundtrack, so I think I'm gonna do that. But I mean, you can suggest some other stuff. I'm definitely gonna see it because I read everything, and I will take your suggestions to heart. This has been Hollow Knight OST. Very swell, very cool. Have a wonderful day. I'm going now. Goodbye.